Video game, flash, fiction. It is time for a writing game. A writing game that begins by rolling 2 dice, randomly selecting a cartridge, putting it into the video game console, playing the game, and within 90 minutes, writing an intellectual property free flash fiction story that will be read aloud at the end. That will someday end up in something like this to be sold online also. Because talking does not write, let's go roll these dice and select the game and start our timer. We're going to start with the columns. There's 6 of them. I have a 6-sided dice right here. 1 to 6. 5. So we're going to go column 5. I have a 10-sided dice. There are 10 rows from bottom to top. Let's roll this dice. 9. Okay. Whoa there. This will be an interesting day indeed. This is the game that was rolled, which is, well, going to be black and white likely, because this is a PAL version of a game called Bobby is Going Home, or Bobby Geht, Heim. Yes. It is originally from Germany, as I understand it, or made for that market, or one of those markets that is not. Oh, come on now. There we go. Oh, this will be different. Yes, this is my first PAL game. And I think it's the NTSC video colors. So that's why this is black and white. This doesn't have the same chips. And some of these games, well, come in that format and some do not. And I wanted to be able to play one of these games I have absolutely never heard of. So I purchased this a while ago. Let's see, it's black and white. Oh boy. I see some dragons though. Whoa. And I see like they're wearing a little pointed hat. Can I jump? I jump. Whoa there. Like I float jump. Come on there. Oh yes. They jump much better than a Smurf does in the Smurf game. Okay. What's going on? I'm going to push up and down just to... Okay, so I got some bird flying over some holes. I probably got to go under them or jump over them. Holy cow. I'm going to jump over. Nope, I'm going to hit it and die. Okay, Bobby can't go home. I think I'm going to use the non-English name for this story. I mean, it's black and white, I suppose. Even though English is not a black and white. No. Oh, wow, I can like... in midair, turn. Oh, it's more like a. I thought that was something I needed to pick up. Oh, that's different. Whoa, so I can like. It's more. I mean, it's got to be a wizard. A wizard with some sort of spell. Just because it's more like a jump spell. I'm pulling out my D&D knowledge right now. And a feather fall spell. Can jump really high than Featherfall, so that's going to have to be worked in. I'll remove the ideas of Featherfall, but jump spell, absolutely. Okay, so now things are getting a little more intense. I wonder if I can jump over both these moving things at one time. Oh shoot, I can't. Oh, but I like this. This makes me feel successful. I'm a pretty good little mage, wizard. Oh shoot, though, I'm getting... Oh, dude, I'm never going to get through this. I got to get over this flying frickin' dragon thing, or baby dragon. There's a space pellet up above. Oh, shoot. Come on. Jump through it. There we go. Okay. This looks like I have a limited amount of time, so I guess it's sort of like a... This is kind of fun. Whoa, that's not fun. How many lives do I have? I think I've died once, twice. This is my 3rd life. I wonder what the colors really look like. This is what happens when you have a non-compatible Atari 2600 cartridge. Unless you get, I think those newer, I'm dead, I'm done. Those newer Atari, the digital ones, will actually put it all in ROM code for you, so it can add the color, be able to translate the color. But this is an old Atari 6er, and it doesn't have the same color chip, so black and white. I wonder if I should include that into the game. What name am I going to use? I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to use the non-English version of the game name and see what that inspires. I don't know what it's going to inspire, but it's different, and it's going to be a hook for something. Maybe not. Maybe the story will always suck. I'll turn the game back on as soon as I put it back in. I got to get the spelling right. It doesn't need to be one of those days where I spell it wrong. It's happened many times with English named games and not things that are, well, non-English. And given I'm uneducated when it comes to multiple language, not necessarily like a polyglot language type. In code I am, but not spoken word or written word. And that's my own failing. And it is a bit of a failing. A lot of arrogance. But soon, that won't matter. We have translators coming soon. AI. Some will have it in their minds, but not Bobby here. Bobby. We're definitely going to have to call this person Bobby. And then maybe try to fit in, make those words seem like some sort of title of a mission. That's where I'm going. My thoughts are right now. The tunes, maybe. I'm going to try to turn this up just a little bit so we can at least get the happy tunes recorded for prosperity and future AI. I mean, it's not too bad. I've, heard way more annoying things. It's soothing. You know? I almost want to include that into the story. I typically try to, but a lot of times it's either really intense music that conveys itself within the story, or it's just really annoying sounds. This is actually kind of pleasant. And I feel like it gets harder and harder, and I get more successful, so I don't hate the game, but I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more. It would still drive me insane these days if I had to hear this over and over and over. But let's talk about Bobby now. We have Bobby here. Bobby's going to be a wizard. Probably like a training wizard. If it was a Dungeons and Dragons wizard, it'd be 0th level. Nah, maybe 1st level, I guess. You got to have your couple spells. One's going to be Jump and Featherfall. I'm not going to throw out Jump and Featherfall, maybe. Maybe I will, for good time's sakes. This is sort of a retro game unto itself, and so is Dungeons and Dragons, even though it's a pop culture icon right now, which is fantastic. But as far as these games right here are concerned, I'm going to, write what you know. I know Dungeons and Dragons. I also know Featherfall and everything else. A little bit of intellectual property there, but it's a different intellectual property. I have no idea. Let's see. And that looks like a Terra. It's going to be a dragon off in the distance. I don't know what that other... So there's 2 shapes flying onto that screen there. Ooh, I'm going to run out of time. What happens? Huh. It restarts. Now I'm counting down again. What's the point of the decreasing point value? Does it not end? Is it just like, hey, you suck as a player and I'm going to give you another chance? Or did I just die? Now I'm watching this time tick down, just curious what happens when I run out. Not that I don't know how to include that into a game mechanic necessarily, into the story. As a game mechanic into the story. Okay, so that doesn't really do much. We'll see what happens when it ends. So we have 2 dragons in the background. It's like hilly region. I can't necessarily tell the color of anything because it's the cartridge is PAL, and this is not a PAL Atari 2600 with that colors and those frequencies of colors as I understand it. I've read about it. But I don't want to talk too much more about it. The fact we're dealing with the black and white, I'm going to call that an ocean. That's why they can't necessarily just walk on it. If it was land, ooh, that's what happens. I see. Okay. Understand that game mechanics. Sorry for the tangent. I got excited. Game over. It's going to be a body of water. That thing off that flat structure in the background where it seems like there's that second dragon that flies across to even kill the white dragon as opposed to the gray dragon. Ooh, I like that. I don't know if I have never read at least a Dungeons and Dragons write up on something called a gray dragon before. Even like I know what most of the chromatic dragons like purple, yeah, sure, but that's the oddball that doesn't get written about much. So this is going to be a gray dragon and a white dragon. White dragons, of course, are very popular dragons in the fantasy world. Usually they're frosty in winter. And the gray dragon would be what? We'll think of that. But Bobby's got to go home. Or Bobby's got to finish their... I'm going to use the non-English title to be able to have that as like the quest. And it'll seem really cool and abstract and different, and maybe be able to pull someone into this fiction if anyone would be able to read it, and it seemed like a legitimate like arcane task that they have to complete. Maybe this is how they become a first level wizard without calling it a first level wizard. Mage, I like mage. I'm gonna go mage. And so this would probably, if I were to classify this story, it's not so much a sports story, it'd be like a job story, a work story. Bobby's got to get hired on, become a wizard. I have to try to classify everything. I don't have to, but I do. And I have to because it's part of my way I collect data. But that's a boring tangent to go off of when we have a great story to start writing, because we got Bobby. I don't know how much I'm going to have to story map this out. I'm going to see if we can just talk it aloud and go with it. Then we got an ocean. We got Bobby. I even forgot how to spell what's going to be the name. Man. This is the name I want right here. It's going to be the quest name. You have to go on there. I'm going to sound like a fool pronouncing this. The Get Heim. It's the Get Heim. That's their special mission. And Bobby's got to complete it in order to become a first level. And are they going to complete it? I want positivity today. I won't roll the dice on life or death. Bobby's going to get there. I won't roll the dice on gender today because Bobby's Bobby. We'll gender roll that name right into the male human version. But the dragons, I got to work the dragons in. And the gray dragon. The white and gray dragon, I'm going to go that way. I don't want to go black dragon. That's all swampy. There's a lot of lore behind the black dragon. Black and white, yin and yang. Too many different sort of cultural metaphors and analogies in our pop cultures sort of place that not where I want. The gray works out, but then, why is it gray? Well, because of the back of the video game. It paints it as gray because it can't decode the colors for this version of a console. So, I don't know where they're fit in. They may be friend and foe. They may be friend. Maybe they've trained Bobby. And that's sort of spells they know how to teach because they're flying beings, and they sort of almost use them to help propel. Because the science of a dragon doesn't necessarily meet with our understanding of physics likely. I mean, they're big creatures. And they're not necessarily have hollow bones like birds or very light like birds. And yet, they're able to fly. So in this world, magic helps them. And they've been able to train Bobby. Oh, maybe that... Bobby doesn't know what the spell really, what the name really means. Maybe it's time for Bobby to leave the nest. Like he's been taken in as a dragon. And is now kind of being tricked a little bit. He doesn't know he doesn't know what got Heim means because he only knows one language. He's only been taught by the dragons at a young age. So I can open up this story. Excuse me one moment. So I can open up this story being born, growing up. So one quick flash fiction paragraph about Bobby's birth, maturity, and ready to train. And then maybe a paragraph about the training. But the first paragraph, I gotta set up the challenge. I gotta set up the conflict and the thing to complete. This is a flash fiction story. That's usually about 600 to 800 words. I'll be lucky if I probably get 400, 500 a day, but I'm hoping to be complete. I'm not going to say, and I'll never pledge, that everything I write today is the thing that's going to be in the flash fiction book that gets published like this. There'll be editing, but it's going to be darn near. Never be foolish enough to believe that you can just write something once and not have it edited. Unless you're boring AI, then you can. And even then, there's always the faults and the plot holes at times, even no matter how good it gets. And it's repetitive and can't think for itself. So there's that too. But Bobby doesn't care about that. Bobby doesn't know about AI. Bobby only knows about that gray dragon and that white dragon in the background. Let's go ahead and reset this. I want to hear those sounds again. And I see like those, that's kind of fun. I don't know what they are, but for some reason there's those little things at the bottom that are like raising their arms or their wings like they're cheering something on. At least that's what I'm seeing. And I think those might be the baby dragons cheering Bobby on. So Bobby's got to go home. Maybe Bobby's annoying. And you have all those little, like there's 6 things at the bottom with the moving arms. And those are going to have to be like the dragons cheering, the baby dragons, which would be Bobby's siblings. Because Bobby still was born and raised by the gray and white dragon. Maybe the black dragon. No, black dragon just... Because if I go that route, like once I go chromatic, then no, that looks gray to me. Does it look gray though, compared to the other grays? Excuse me again. It's gonna happen just a little bit as I talk more. And more about Bobby. Okay. How does Bobby get in the hand? So maybe that could be... Maybe both the dragons attack the village. No, they're not too violent. They like to hang out. Maybe that is... Let's go the route. That is more black than gray. And that ain't going to put like some weird color spectrum. You're going to have to balance it out with the black dragon doing something or the white dragon being evil. And no. Just call it a black dragon, white dragon. For this sake, they're not going to be living in the Dungeons and Dragons world, so they don't have to be the evil chromatic dragon type. They're going to be good. Reformed, maybe. And all those 6 things that look like they're raising up wings at the bottom there, they may be something else. But to me, they're baby dragons. They're the result. And they're a little bit gray, too. So yeah, they had some gray dragons. And they also got Bobby. How to get Bobby? And that's going to be a fire. That's where Bobby's camping out. Wakes up in the morning, and then all the mini dragons are rooting Bobby on. I just need to think of how... I got an hour and 11 minutes, so I got to start writing more. How does Bobby get to grow up with a bunch of dragons? If I had the dragons attack a village, Bobby lives. Maybe the humans dumped off their baby to the dragons. I don't know. Let's just see. After I feel like maybe there was an attack. I don't know. Bobby, how did you become part of the Dragon Clan? How did Bobby become? Maybe it would be I'm not thinking. I can't think. There's no other than like destruction or some trope about the dragon attacking a village and seeing a kid and then wanting to take the kid back, and the kid grows up. And then I can have two humans leave their kid with the dragons. Leave the kids as a sacrifice to the dragons. And the dragons don't know what to do with it. They try to find the parents, but the parents attack them. After Bobby's parents, I think that's gonna be laid baby Bobby on the ground. Maybe Bobby doesn't want to get a job, and this is the way to get Bobby out of the cave. All the other dragons are gonna fly off. Bobby's like, hey, I'm just gonna hang out. Okay. I don't know. Let's go ahead and reset that. How's the screen looking? I got that fuzzy. Sometimes if I do this, and sometimes it doesn't work. Lines, technology. Let's write this story though. Let's stop caring about the video and the images, and let's get lost in the sounds of Bobby on his Get Heim. Bobby's going on his Get Heim. And that's what's going to be said at the time. And then should I give them names? Do I genderize the dragons? No. I'm going to give them names like I think is very not trope, that's not the wrong word, cliche, and maybe cliche. I'm going to go with that word. Or typical of dragons in fantasy, some weird long names, and then leave out the idea of gender, because they're a dragon. They're going to kill you or control you or intimidate you, or maybe help you and save you. And you just always see the dragon in them. It's hard to not look beyond a dragon, because it'll take up all your view and make it difficult to you to see anything else. So hey, so it'd be like Valenciatory. Valenciatory. The great white dragon, great black dragon. So it's gonna be both the parents. The great black dragon. They pair bonded. We'll say that. Both the dragons have pair bonded to create some gray dragons. I'm not going to go into details whether they have blessed their union to some deity, which in this world's a lot likely to actually exist. I won't get into gods. Valorously, the Blight Dragon sat around the campfire with Bobby. And I'm not going to point out the what's the word I'm looking for? The nest of the siblings, the flock of dragons. The mini. How about just the mini baby gray dragons and their pair bonding partner? Gosh, so much not seen. What's the name? Let's go for near, 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 near. And you gotta have like some powerful that's gonna have some near fit. Yes, the great white dragon. Well, see, Bobby just died. I don't have a understanding. Maybe that's like your magic, um, like your magic counter. And once your magic counter hits a certain number, and you run out of magic, Bobby's unable to live. That's if I were to include the points. I've got an hour and 4 minutes left, so I need to write a story before I can start highlighting features I haven't even created or written about, or yes, gaming features. We'll go there. It just seems so dead calling it a feature as all. That's why I would be going there. The Great White Dragon. Oh, with Bobby, the mini baby gray dragons, and their bear pounding partner, nearest it. When you have to say it 5 times, maybe it's a good dragon name to get it right the one time. It's a good fantasy name. You never want to make it easy. It's funny. I read a lot of fantasy novels, or had. I don't read as much as I did because I just don't have time. But it's funny hearing other people pronounce some of those fantasy names properly. And in your head, for many years, you've definitely said it a different way or thought of it a different way. And let's get back into this game because it's not a fantasy. The story is. But the reality is I need to write a story for this. So I got the Great White Dragon. I got to get like the introduction, and how I'm going to transition over to this would be like, so it'd be like we'll have Valenciatiri says to Bobby, it's time for your Get Heim. It be time. I'm going to act like use some archaic. I'm going to even use passive, what is it? Past perfect tense? Perfect past? Let's not think too hard about that right now. Let's just write. Valerian says to Bobby, it'd be time for your Get Heim. Because they got to go on their special journey home. Bobby, go home. I think I might have, this might be way I can kind of mix in it, because I only want to put 3 paragraphs to set this game up. I still have to show the mechanics of the game. I'd like to, at least. I've had actually Ezra, who had edited the last publications of this, called that out. That it was a good story on one of them, but it didn't really get the feel of the game mechanics that exist within it, and it was true. But you know, not to. It's not law. Write what you know, write what you can. For this, let's try to get these mechanics in. Game mechanics. So it's time for your Get Heim. So let's write to that. Let's write to them telling that's leaving. They'll transition over to this, where it's at. Neither to White Dragon. Sit around a campfire near their lake. That surrounds their island home. I don't think they're going to be on the island, though. That's going to be... I want to be able to place them off because, you know, they have this island home. They want camping with Bobby and all the Grey Dragons. And I think this is the night before, we'll say. Like, the first 3 paragraphs, they'll be like, you got to do your Get Heim. they'll say this to him the night before. So prepare tomorrow. It's your great test, they'll call it. And I don't know if I'm gonna like break how omniscient I'm gonna get and explain it, but I'm not gonna try to talk about it too much more. But I'll try to talk and write at the same time. Sometimes that's hard. It'd be time for you to get Heim, says Bobby. Okay, Iron City. The great black dragon sat around the campfire with Bobby, the mini gray baby dragons and their pair bonded partner Nerethi, the great black dragon. Okay, I don't need the second sit. They sit. I'm just going to set the location I need to write to. They sit on the shore across of the mainland. Across the lake from their home island in the middle of the lake. That's weird. But I feel like that's a lot of words to describe something that doesn't need that many words for description. I sit around the campfire in their lake that surrounds their island home. Okay, I don't need this anymore. So at least sort of setting up that night before, and I want some conversation. I don't want to use my voice for these dragons. I don't know what voice. I think I found one, maybe. Maybe for at least, I'll just have one maybe talk. Maybe the great black dragon. The white dragon's going to be more like the silent parenting type. Maybe showed Bobby how to feather fall and the other jump. Who knows? Okay, I think I'm going to throw that out. Bobby. I love it. Bobby. So Bobby's going to be sitting around the campfire. Bobby slumps in their wizard robe, in their wizard robe, because people are going to know what wizards are. Let's not, use some term like mage that, if I hadn't ever played Dungeons and Dragons, I probably wouldn't have sort of any link to what a mage is. It quickly, that is. Who knows what path of knowledge I would have taken to be able to gather and connect what a mage is versus what a wizard is versus what a sage is versus what an illusionist is. Yeah, knowledge. Let's write it. So slumps in the wizard's robe. And pulls, I'm going to have like some mannerism to show angst. Then pulls their wizard cap, the wizard cone cap over their ears. He nods, pulling his... What do you do? So, like, if you're sitting on the ground, I want to show sits and slumps, sits on the dirt. Sits on a rock. It's a wizard after all. It's not like someone that, is used to just sitting on the ground. So Bobby sits on a rock and slumps. Bobby sits on a rock and slumps in the wizard's robe and pulls their wizard cap over their ears. He nods and looks at the ground. We'll just say he looks at the ground. I like that. That writes out somehow. That shows. I'm going to pose him like that. So he nods and looks at the ground. So, it's another thing, talking a lot and having breath blow up on your nose as it refracts off or reflects off of the microphone. It's funny. Nose itches a lot for it. He nods, or I don't know, tingles, I suppose would be the better word. He nods and looks at the ground. And this, I'll have that as like a silent, I gotta move something real quick. There we go. I need to see more words. Bobby sits on a rock and slumps in a wizard's robe and pulls their wizard cone cap over their ears. He nods and looks at the ground. And it looks like a cone cap that's on this game. Don't adjust your monitors. It's supposed to be black and white. Yes. Different standards of how to be able to translate language from a cartridge into a television. Different frequencies, I think it is. Different frequency. Okay. Now I'm going to I'll just tell. I mean, it's going to be a bit of, I forgot what the hell do they call that? Man. I mean, I hear that term like 20 times when I'm at a writer's workshop, and what is that? I'm going to skip over it. I'm just going to be able to do some telling right now through the voice of Lindsay. And that's one good thing. You want to make sure that the dialogue doesn't seem too telling. But I've asked Bobby a question, so Bobby doesn't answer. So, because Bobby's upset. It was near your time to go. I had to get Heim. We'll say sister. Well, gotta set this up. Oh man, I've got 52 minutes left. So after Bobby laid baby Bobby on the ground, after Bobby's parents laid baby Bobby on the ground at the mouth. Let's at least get this opening up. On the ground before inside the dragon, on the island. Before inside the cave of the dragon lair. Oh, I don't know why I'm laughing about it, but now I'm like, the parents are just gonna die, I think, and I say that because I think they're gonna get caught, and their intention was to give the dragons the baby to raise or even sacrifice because they couldn't pay for him. Dragons didn't necessarily want to sacrifice. They're like, what's going on? Dragon comes out. Dragon babies, I think, are going to come out and take out the parents. And the elder dragons will stop them before they eat Bobby, and then they'll read Bobby's letter. They'll feel bad. But, the humans crossed the river and went to a known dragon island. I'm going to call it Dragon Island to make it obvious. On Dragon Island. Inside the cave of the dragon lair. I'll case all these things because it's just like it's the dragon lair, not a dragon lair. So parents went in really naive. They're like, "I'm going to help the village by making a sacrifice. We can't handle this baby. We've also been maybe chosen. I'm not going to leave the Y out of it, except for there will be a note on it, so it'll get some Y. That's right. So I'll tell on that through the like epistolary letter. After Bobby's parents laid baby Bobby on the ground on Dragon Island and inside the cave of the dragon lair, the baby gray dragons eating their morning stew, ate the parents, their babies, before the elder dragons, parent dragons, stopped them. The dragon we'll just bring this to Valancitiri. See, that seems like definitely, it could be even a city name. But I like it as a dragon name better than a city name. The ate the parents before the dragon Valancity shouted. I don't know what to write right there. I'll come back to it, but it's a good transition at least to write more about what the heck happens next. And that's a huge sentence, man. I'm going to just like whack the reader over the head with what is really a 2-sentence. How about you read this 100-word sentence as an intro to a flash fiction story that's trying to set up the entire story, conflict, everything right now. So after Bobby's parents laid baby Bobby on the ground on the Dragon Island and inside the cave of the dragon lair, the baby dragons eating their morning stew ate the parents before the dragon Valancitiri shouted. Let's go past tense. I'm cool with that. Shouted, stop eating the humans. Stop eating the humans. Don't eat the baby. I think it would be like, don't eat the baby. And then I can just do this. This is what I'll have the epistolae, like Valancitiri. Man, this is going to be a lot of setup. I can show a little bit of the game mechanics. I went quite far, and I feel like if I had maybe some color, maybe not, I'd be a little bit more successful at Bobby getting home or Bobby get Heim. Get Heim? I'm not even going to try to insult make myself seem foolish more right now. I'll shut up and talk about something that, even if I look foolish at least I'm trying, which is writing this flash fiction story. So Valancitiri shouted, don't eat baby. I need to probably play the game a little bit here in a bit too. But I need to write this. So Valancitiri shouted, don't eat the baby human. Let's restart this though. I need some Bobby sounds. I need some movement. I need to see Valancitiri flying through the sky right there. With Near Thit is just gliding over the lake as Bobby is getting ready to go on his Get Heim. And the 6 little gray dragons are cheering him on. Go, Bobby, go. Go, Bobby, go. But how do they get to that point? That's what I got to write to. I've got the night before. I got a lot of setup. Oh boy, 46 minutes left. Let's write game mechanics soon. Their morning stew ate the parents before. The baby gray dragons eating their morning. That ate. The hungry. I'm going to do it this way. Where's the morning? The parents laid Bobby baby on the ground on Dragon Island and inside the cave of the dragon lair one morning. Okay. I'm going to break this up. Let's make this easier to read. And I'm just not going to do the after. Let's do this like a chronological, fun intro, and I'll have literary chaos with doing sentences like this later. The parents woke the baby gray dragons, and the hungry baby gray dragons ate the parents before the dragon. The parent dragon? I mean, I got babies. I also a parent dragon. So don't eat the baby. Phallus and Tiri swooped away. Make it seem like not hard. I don't want to say swipe or like hit, like swoop, like, ooh, let's move you, baby, so you don't eat the baby. And they're babies, like, when the humans came into the dragon den. And so the parents are probably a little bit pissed and not feeling sorry that their babies ate the humans who crossed the lake to go onto the island. Just playing out the moralities and make sure they don't have to, like, spell it out. I think it's just going to be known, maybe? Who knows? Maybe Bobby doesn't also knows where he came from. Oh man. I think they're going to tell him over the campfire. And I can write in, and then I could put that motion in going home. They taught him Featherfall. I haven't got to teach him the damn spells yet. I got 43 minutes left. So Valansiri shouted, "Don't eat the baby." Valansiri swooped away the babies. And picked up the dragon baby. Just say the dragon babies. And dropped the gray because I don't want to use mini words and I don't want to have this readers. Yeah, anyway, I think this will work. The dragon babies and scooped up the human baby, wrapped in cloth and pinned with a note. Valansiri read the note. I don't know. It's brutal. We can't afford this baby. Yeah. I'm just gonna go on. I'm not gonna. That's gonna be how this society is. It's pretty brutal. You can eat it or raise it. Or a gift, or what's the? I mean, I'm way going into this. Like, I don't even know. Now I got to think of like some background about where the parents gave away the kid, went through all the trouble. Ooh, I can set up like that idea of the hero, the ultimate hero, saving the world, the savior, born. Maybe that's Bobby. But no, it's not going to be what Bobby. Bobby just goes home. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe he crosses the lake and he swims for the lake. Bobby gives up. Bobby read the note. Valencia read the note. We can't afford this baby. Could you eat it or raise it? It can be a sacrifice to save the village or grow a leader. I'm gonna leave the it. I'll put the Bobby here. That's where the name Bobby comes from. Bobby can be a sacrifice to save the village or grow a leader that brings together humans and dragons. Terry sneered. We don't. Really. Bobby was raised. The dragons. Let's introduce. Oh man, this is getting deep, yo. Like, fudge. I'm just gonna copy this name. I'm not gonna try to act like I can replicate it and typing it out. I just made it up. The dragons near stit, and I'm obviously tried to write this word again, and I was wrong. So I'm going to copy and paste the dragon near stit in Valentiri. Raise Bobby like one of their own. They even taught Bobby 2 spells to cast. Jump and Featherfall. I'm just going to do Featherfall. I don't think that's trademark or copyrighted. I try to remove intellectual property, but I mean, it's Featherfall. I could do like Dustfall. Lightfall. Lightfall seems like it's a seasonal thing. It's a light fall right now. Feather Float. I like that. Yes, that is a much better name. Jump. I mean, come on. Like I can magically jump. That's not that original. Featherfall is. I'm gonna go Feather Float. I could even do like just float spell, and don't have the feather. Because feathers don't really guide. They're like, whatever. They can get blown away by the wind. Bobby can actually jump and glide. Like, that's just it. It's different than jump and float. Jump, float. Jump and glide. It's more like Bobby can glide. Let's try that out. I gotta look at that again. So let's play this game. I can't spell glide. Is that glide? That's gonna be glide. For the sake of time and caring about a typo or a misunderstanding of how one thinks the word is spelled at this point, let's move on with life. Yeah, Bobby glides. See, Bobby jumps. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, I killed Bobby, but Bobby couldn't jump over the campfire. And the baby gray dragons are cheering Bobby on. There's no objects to really avoid at this point in time, so I can go ahead with Bobby. We're scrolling along. And there's our first moving object. And it's going to be a baby dragon. How does this end? I got to think of that. Like, I think I can write the rest of it pretty quick. Maybe. It'll be sloppy. Ugh. How does this end? Does Bobby die? Does Bobby live? I want Bobby to live. I don't need to have death and everything. Everything does die, but come on. They have a time when they live as well. And let's have it. Bobby's life does not end with this adventure. I think when I go to a different screen, I get more points. I get more magic. But let's not get into how magic is performed here because I just don't have that much time. This is a flash fiction story, not a 1,000-paged fantasy novel. Well, actually, I think back in the day, the TSR ones were like, what was it, 352 or 356 pages? I think there's like some exact page counts. At least I remember for the Forgotten Realms ones. But let's not reminisce too much about books. Let's reminisce about this game and make a story. Even thought Bobby Juice and Glide. By the age of 13, Bobby gathered and hunted for his own food and trained with the other gray dragons in magic. For with the help of magic, dragons flew. All right, so we got a decent amount of setup here, and there's only 34 minutes left, so we got balance in theory. Says to Bobby, it's time for your God time. We got to get to that. I got one more paragraph. So I got the birth, the raising of it, and then like at the age of 13. Bobby's dragon parents arranged a birthday celebration on the birthday of age. Let's do that. Let's write it like that. This is a way I write that I want to change, but I'm time constrained, so I'm falling back on old habits. So on Bobby's 14th birthday. I like that. I can't even spell right now for. Oof. Sneeze. Bobby's dragon parents arranged for a party. Arranged a birthday party. Okay. Across on the mainland. All the gray babies, all of Bobby's, not all gray, but just the ones that we see. All of Bobby's sibling dragons flocked to the party. During the day, they danced, and Bobby jumped and glided. Glided, that's how you spell glided. I don't know, I was going to put the U in, but I'm going to leave, I'll change it now. Glided, I don't know why. I don't know where the U came from. Like I was spelling glue. What the hell? Okay, Bobby jumped and glided. Boo, 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 boo. I'm almost someplace. I'm making noises with my mouth because I'm feeling tense. During the day, the dance and they danced. How about the dance? The dance. During the day, they danced. And Bobby jumped and glided as they flew around. As they glided. As they jumped and glided. I don't know where that U is coming from in my mind. Someplace. But I keep on typing in U when I write glided. It's annoying. But that's a process my mind seems to want to do. Observe, move on, and adjust. And let's read this around. Jumped and glided. So then we're going to go during the night. They drank brew and ate. They're going to eat salad. They're going to be vegetarians. Just to sort of further remove the idea of like, why would they sacrifice the baby? And just to show that they don't. Ate a salad. What kind of a salad? They ate salad. They ate salad and carrots. Lettuce and carrots. Let's just break it down. I don't want to have the whole combination of the whole salad thing. And I feel like I have to like define certain things. And carrots. Bobby's favorite. All right, so we have that. Near bedtime. Here we go. Now I'm going to drop the truth right here. I'll move the sentence back up. Near bedtime. Now we got a little bit of something about Bobby. Why is Bobby there? Maybe we know now. Said. Let's past tense this. Awesome. So Valamatiri, the great black dragon, said, I already got this. So... Oh my god, that sound just started and reset automatically. That was fun. A little unexpected, but I like to see the moving dragons flying backward and forward with their jump and glide magical abilities helping them out. So do you know, yeah. I'll put into the other dragon. I can remove this right now. This would have been a great intro to us, but I can erase it now. Neither, and I'll have this dragon say the things. So it's like, it shows that they both parent. And it's not only the one. You know, they're both trying to help Bobby out. I don't know about where I've defined the great white dragon, the great black dragon yet, but I'm going to do it here again. It seems a little bit odd if I haven't done it beforehand, but I'll introduce this. Excuse me one moment. And Bobby's black dragon sat around the campfire with Bobby. Let's get rid of this. And so then we have at least this, the great white dragon. Do you know of Heim? Bobby sits on the rock. Okay. We're going into the future now. We can get game mechanics. I got 27 minutes left for this process, for this game, for this flash fiction writing game. Someday I may actually, in some of these, actually read the instruction booklet too. I put them up on the wall here just for effect, and well, I like looking at them. It's a little bit of nostalgia for me. It's a lot of nostalgia for me. But I still have yet to read hardly any of them. Ones that I have read was only because I read them when they were coming out as a new release or around that time. So Bobby sits on a rock and slumps in a wizard's robe and pulls their wizard cone cap over their ears. He nods and looks at the ground. Look at the ground. So you know it is near your time to get Heim. Says Sister I want as X. Zant. In Zatin. Yeah, Zatin. That's going to be it. Sister Zatin. Says Sister Zatin, a gray dragon. I'm going to just call that out. Just I got to further separate, Bobby being the human and a bunch of gray dragons. A gray dragon. It is known But I don't have any like, yeah, so that's the motive. The motive of doing this, I don't necessarily have. And is it going to be like the sisters? And is it going to be like, that's what I don't. Like, is this true? Or is this a ploy to inspire Bobby to leave because Bobby's annoying? I don't have that. I want to write an annoying character. Maybe I always do write annoying characters. Maybe I'm annoying. It's possible. It's always possible. Probable? Absolutely. Highly probable? Absolutely. Is it known amongst humans? It is known amongst humans, says, oh man, this is going to be, I'm going to write the end, and I got to write to that. Let's do that right now. Bobby jump glides. You over over the river, over the fire, and then the river. Bobby jump glides over a stork. A stork? I'm thinking a pelican, a seagull, a lake. I don't know. Like I'm just, I get it, seagull, but just trying to think birds, think water, and maybe stupidity comes out, but it's something to move on. Bobby jump glides over seagull. I'm just thinking of the past when there was those two moving things too. He runs and jump glides over 1, 2. Those two things I'm going to have them be spiked turtles. Wild spiked turtles. The cheers and deep swoops of clapping dragon wings. They shout and cheer. Bobby get Heim. And Bobby get Heims. I don't know. That's how it's going to end right now. He just goes. He lives. I ain't going to kill him. I'm not killing Bobby today. Bobby gets to live. I like a living Bobby, especially if his parents got murdered by dragons. Raised with a I think you're going to tell him the truth. That's what they do. In the 21 minutes left, they tell him the truth. Bobby loves it. Everyone loves Bobby. And they're going to tell him the truth to inspire him to leave. Because he's not a dragon. He's never going to be a dragon. I'm trying to think of the deeper meaning, how that would be taken in a literary context to the character now. Like, let's deep dive psychologically. What story am I telling? I have no idea. I got 21 minutes to tell it. Something could be edited, make this more interesting without many words, maybe. But I think it's going to be a story now. Like, this is close to something. It may smell good to me later. Probably don't. No one else get Heim. Why be it? That's how they're going to all talk. Why be it? No one else get Heim. because it is time. It be time. We speak truth to Bobby. Oh, I like this. This is going somewhere. This is gonna be a dialogue piece. I got the action of things. At least I have mechanics. And if I can type and not hit the caps key again, that would be fantastic. I'm starting to get like nervous. Looking at the clock, trying to get this done. So I now have to write this dialogue that they're gonna have with Bobby to inspire him to want to get Heim. And we may not trust him after the truth. And we may not trust him. It's time for the truth. A truth that breaks trust. And trust is found again only after. Okay, so this is their tradition. And then okay. So why did I stop that thought? What was I going to say next? Okay, this is it is a dragon tradition. Someone else was a Get Heim. Yeah. Massive white head, right? She's the white dragon, or they? I don't know. I haven't thrown gender on the dragons. They're just dragons. They're dragons. Although I threw sister there, but that's because Bobby is now labeling them. Damn human. Blows, bows, massive head. I was at Heim. Okay, now what? I got to get to Bobby jumping and get Bobby going. They slept the night. Bobby nodded. The fire dimmed. The night got cold. Bobby curled with his robes. Component bag. Oh boy, right, human, right. And Bobby curled in his robes and used the component bag for a pillow. Bobby woke during the morning. With who's those names? Near thick. Let's play it. I want movement. I need to have near thick. Near thick. Dragon names. And Satiri flying over the lake. There we go. This my story. And then where are we going? We're going Bobby near the shore, along the shore. Bobby's dragon brothers and sisters, siblings. Just go siblings. Fewer words. Everyone's a sibling. Swoop arms. Swoop wings. Swoop wings. Swoop, 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 swoop. Swoop wings. And cheer. Bobby got Heim. Oh, I didn't tell them a big story. Oh man. I mean, I led up to it, and I just then woke up in the morning. I gotta do that. That's hideous. Heim. Okay, Bobby got Heim. Let me just do this. Boom. Okay, Bobby. Bobby. Okay, so Bobby's gonna have to do a little bit of something before Bobby does the action. Bobby goes home. Okay. Newton says and feels different and detached, and I can get into Bobby's head a little bit. Okay, that's. And then, so they've had this discussion of how they're going to talk. Because they're the good dragon parents. They talk with each other about the raising of their child. So the dragon parents, this one will be like the one that said, I just went tense. Future, present, blah, blah, blah. Let's get not past tense. Not present tense. Jeez, God. I want to correct this now because I'll read over some of these, but then it's going to slow me up and make it harder to fix other holes in the story. I get home and found home again after I was told my parents were killed by a human village. And it said, and Bobby must get Heim. For we killed. He ain't gonna call us killed your parents, believing them from the village. I don't know how the other village fits in with this village. I think one of the sisters that doesn't like him is going to say, "We ate your babies. We ate your parents." And that's why Bobby's got to get home. I got 12 minutes left. Come on. Fudge. I'm looking for something. Sister, whatever. Sister Sue. I'm just going to make up a name. I just don't. Dragon Sister Sue. Dragon Sister Sue. Suestel said, "We ate your parents." Bobby stood. Bobby cried. Oh shit. Sorry for the profanity, but I'm realizing a time, 1, and 2, I'm writing these words in the wrong place. So let's copy this. Man. That's what happens when you put your mind under time. Overthink, underthink, look at time. Forget what you're thinking. And Bobby must have got Heim, for we killed your parents in our cave, leaving them from the village. Bobby goggled and face shook. Eye sockets. That just seems weird. Eyes weld. All right, I've got 9 minutes left. Oh, jeez. Tense. Along the shore, Bobby's dragon sibling swooped wings and cheered. Clapped wings. God, like rubbing it in. No, they wouldn't do this. They would be like, along the shore, the baby dragons bowed their heads and kneeled before Bobby. Kneeled and hung their heads before Bobby. Oh, this is weird. The dragon form of sorrow. Bobby got Heim. No, they're not all going to say it. They're going to not say it then. Bobby cried. Bobby cried from detachment. I don't know. Bobby cried. Bobby longed to remain. With his family. Bobby felt rage. Bobby jumped, glided over the fire and then the river. Bobby jumped over then over a river. Bobby jumped, glided over a seagull, and he ran and jumped, glided over 1, 2, 3 spiked turtles. Bobby ran. Ran with rage and love and sorrow. Do they say it? Do they say it out loud? I don't think so. I think sorrow would be silent. Not like cheering them on, like, get the hell out of here. I don't want to make the dragons seem too callous, too rude. It's just not the dragons, you know? So I think it's done. I think... Well, let's minimize this first. Am I really truly done? You're truly never done with anything. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can fill out points of accomplishment about it, but if it means anything, it'll stick with you the rest of your life. And you'll think about it once in a while. And when you rethink it, you might find flaws. Resist sometimes changing those flaws. And we have a story for today. I'm going to play this game one more time. I'm going to look over this screen right here. It's a little smaller. Let's go, Bobby. Bobby just got told the baby dragons over there cheering him on, killed his parents. The parent dragons, the one that raised them after his parents were killed, are flying off on the horizon, following Bobby as Bobby Get Heims. A rite of passage after you're told the terrible fate of someone that caused upon you that is loved. Happened to Bobby's parent, near Sissit, who is the white dragon, jumping over another fire. Bobby Get Heims, and there's no more cheering. The crowd of siblings is behind as he jumps over the spiked turtles right now. Oh, and he did get smacked by that bird. But in this story, no, Bobby runs on. Bobby runs on, and I want to read this story a little bit with the sounds in the background. At least I can hear them. Maybe I'll turn it up just a tad bit. They're not unfun. There's a certain sense of urgency. Maybe. Well, it's counting down to the time, and I'm done writing this thing. So I'm going to turn this time off, and let's read it aloud. The story for today's... Excuse me, let me take some water before I start reading as well. Well, that's no fun. Excuse me for that clearing of throat. Let's start those sounds over. Give Bobby a fighting chance. At least stand by the campfire as we talk about Bobby's life and departure in his Get Heim. Get Heim. We'll say it that way. I hope to be able to say these dragon names accurately or with smoothness, but I really don't like leading this thing more than once and then moving on with other words. For today's video game flash fiction story, we have the story called Bobby Get Heim. Bobby's parents laid baby Bobby on the ground of Dragon Island inside the cave of the dragon lair during the morning. They woke the baby gray dragons, and the hungry baby gray dragons ate the parents before a parent dragon, Valensiri, shouted, "Don't eat the baby!" Valensiri swooped away the dragon babies and scooped up a human baby wrapped in cloth and pinned with a note. Valensiri read the note. "We can't afford this baby, Bobby. Bobby can't be sacrificed to save the village or grow a leader that brings together humans and dragons." Valensiri sneered. "We don't raid or normally kill humans." The dragons Nearnisset and Valensiri raised Bobby like one of their own. They even taught Bobby 2 spells to cast, jump, and glide. By the age of 13, Bobby gathered and hunted for his own food and trained with the other dragons in magic. For with the help of magic's dragon flew. On Bobby's 14th birthday, Bobby's dragon's parents arranged a birthday party across the mainland. All of Bobby's sibling dragons flocked to the party. And during the day, they danced, and Bobby jumped and glided and jumped and glided. During the night, they drank brew and ate lettuce and carrots, Bobby's favorite. Near bedtime, Valensiri said to Bobby, "It is time for you to Get Heim." "Nearnitz, the white great dragon, do you know of Get Heim?" Bobby sits on a rock and slumps in a wizard's robe and pulls their wizard cone cap over their ears. He nods and looks at the ground. "So you notice it was near your time to get Heim." "Why be it no one else's Get Heim?" said Sister Zany, a gray dragon. It is time we speak truth to Bobby," said Valensiri, "a truth that breaks trust, and trust is found again only after you get Heim." Nearnisset said, "It is a dragon tradition only spoke when needed." Nearnisset bows massive head. "I get Heim, found home again after I was told by my parents were killed by a human village." Valensiri said, "And Bobby must get Heim, for we killed his parents in our cave, believing them from the village and after us." Bobby goggles and Shock's face, eyes well tears. Dragon's sister, Serial Tail, says, "We accidentally ate your parents." Tears fell. Bobby cried. Bobby curled into a ball inside his wizard robes and felt rage and sorrow and hate. The fire dimmed the night and got cold. Bobby curled in his robes and used his component bag for a pillow. Bobby woke during the morning, and Nearnisset and Valensiri flew over the lake. Along the shore, Bobby's dragon siblings kneeled and hung their heads before Bobby, the dragon form of showing sorrow. Bobby cried. Bobby longed to remain with his family. Bobby raged. Bobby jumped and glided over a fire and then a river. Bobby glided over a seagull, and he ran and jumped and glided over 2 wild spiked turtles. Bobby ran with rage and love and sorrow. Bobby, get Heim. There's definitely issues with that. The way I was going to introduce this concept of get Heim changed. I'm not going to edit it right now. I may not edit it at all and see if I can pick away at it and through posing make it more sense. But for today, I'm done. That's a decent enough story. I won't feel like a fool like reading it aloud. And when this thing gets published to different streams, well, if a fool I am for creating that, I'm okay with it. Uh-oh. Where am I at with this? I want to save it. And then I'm going to turn this game off and process to other words. Right? And publish a story. Inspired by the game named same as the file. And that was Video Game Flash Fiction for today. But before we end, I have it over here now. Once again, fun game. And until the next time to game something, remember to write. Or maybe draw. Try to do something different.